She stepped onto a plane in Bulgaria, carrying a Louis Vuitton bag and a diamond-studded phone. The ticket said, Athens. She never arrived. No passport scans, no security footage, no trace. A woman with billions in stolen funds vanished. Governments searched. Victims waited. Her face appeared on wanted lists across 3 continents. But no arrests, no trial, no grave, just silence. Her name was Dr. Ruja Ignatova, once hailed as the future of global finance, educated at Oxford, backed by powerful names. And behind it all a lie so massive it swallowed banks, destroyed families, and rewrote the history of cryptocurrency. This is not just a story about money. It's about a woman who built an empire on trust, then vanished before it collapsed. This is Corporate Crime Files, and this is the story of the Cryptoqueen. Before she was the most wanted woman in the world. She was the golden child of 2 nations. Born in Bulgaria in 1980, raised in Germany. Fluent in 5 languages by the time she turned 16. Her parents were intellectuals. Her future was designed, and she delivered. Magna cum laude in economics, a doctorate from Oxford, law degree from Constance. Even McKinsey, the most elite consultancy on earth, hired her straight out of school. She wore tailored suits, spoke with command, and walked into rooms with presence. Her accent carried weight. Her eyes never drifted. Her pitch was precise. To the outside world, Ruja Ignatova was unstoppable. But behind every carefully stitched line of her resume, there was something missing, something she had learned early in life. If you can look the part, people won't ask too many questions. Ruja didn't invent cryptocurrency, but she saw something in it no one else did. Not a tool, but a weapon. And soon, she would aim it at the entire world. In 2014, Bitcoin was a whisper, a mystery on the edges of finance. But where most saw confusion, Ruja saw opportunity. She didn't just want to ride the wave, she wanted to own the ocean. She called it OneCoin, the Bitcoin killer. A revolutionary cryptocurrency, accessible to all, faster than Bitcoin, safer than banks. The future of money, in your hands, or so she said. OneCoin looked the part. It had a slick website, a virtual wallet, and a promise, your money, your control. But here's the twist. There was no blockchain, no miners, no ledger. The coin wasn't real. The dashboards? Fake. The code? Never existed. A coin you couldn't withdraw, a value you couldn't verify. She didn't hide in a boardroom. Ruja stood on stages like a superstar, Wembley Arena, thousands screaming. She held the mic like a preacher. OneCoin will hit 50 euros, she said. People cheered, people cried, but there was no exchange. The price, controlled by Ruja alone. The message spread. This is your chance. Don't miss out. And people believed. Community halls were packed. Meetings turned into sermons. Life savings poured in. Some took loans. Others sold their homes. OneCoin wasn't built on technology. It was built on people. Sell the dream. Earn the rank. Recruit more. Earn more. Ruby, emerald, diamond, status sold as wealth. But the higher you climbed, the closer you got to the edge. For a while it worked. Investors bragged. Commissions flowed. Then, the website stopped working. Withdrawals froze. Support lines went quiet. And the future they were promised vanished. People didn't fall for a scam. They believed in a savior. Everyone thinks they wouldn't fall for it, that they'd ask the right questions, spot the red flags. But most of OneCoin's victims weren't greedy. They were hopeful. And hope is the most powerful currency in the world. Ruja knew how to speak to people who felt overlooked. She promised freedom from the banks. She spoke about empowerment, independence, and legacy. She didn't just sell a coin. She sold the idea that you mattered, that your future could finally begin. The poor believed her. The educated believed her. Even experienced investors were drawn in, not because of what she said, but because of how she made them feel. The truth? We don't follow logic. We follow confidence. And Ruja Ignatova had it in every sentence she spoke. In the end, they didn't just lose their money, they lost their trust. The truth was out there, but not everyone wanted to see it. It started as whispers, quiet doubts in online forums, questions buried beneath applause. But every scam leaves fingerprints, and the closer people looked at OneCoin, the more smudges they found. There was no blockchain, no open ledger, no public exchange, just graphs that always went up and a price Ruja could set herself. Some asked questions, and those questions didn't get answered. They got deleted. Then came the journalists, then came the leaks, then came the law. A blogger named Tim Curry raised the alarm. He dissected the code. He followed the money. But no one in OneCoin wanted to hear it. Truth was labeled hate. Doubt was called sabotage. Then came the leaks. Emails from inside the company, executives admitting everything. OneCoin wasn't based on code. Governments began to move. Warnings were issued. Events were raided. But by then, the web was massive. 3 million users, 175 countries, over $4 billion collected. OneCoin was based on confidence and silence. She didn't flinch, not once. The louder the critics got, the harder she smiled. She was running out of time. The walls were closing in. But what came next? No one saw it coming. You can fool the crowd, but not the law forever. It started with rumors, then came the warnings, and now the law was at the door. Behind the stage lights and cheering crowds, governments were circling, banking authorities, tax investigators, cybercrime units, all asking one question: where is the money? In 2017, the noose began to tighten. Raids began. Executives were taken in. The company's second-in-command, Ruja's own brother, was arrested at an airport. And while everyone else was caught off guard, Ruja was already preparing her escape. In India, over 30 arrests were made. In Italy, fines were issued. In Germany, bank accounts were frozen. But the money had already moved. Hidden across dozens of fake companies, luxury real estate, and offshore vaults. Ruja's brother, Constantine, took control in her absence, but he didn't last long. Arrested in the US, he flipped, testified under oath, and told the court what many had feared. Emphatic, OneCoin was a lie from day one. Ruja wasn't planning a defense. She was planning an exit. A month before disappearing, she told staff to prepare an exit strategy. If regulators came too close, she would vanish. And just like that, she was gone. She missed meetings, missed calls. One by one, her accounts went dark. In 2018, Interpol issued a red notice. In 2022, the FBI added her to the top 10 most wanted list. The reward? $250,000. But there's been no trace, no paper trail, no confirmed sighting. In the digital age, disappearing is almost impossible, unless you know exactly how to do it. And Ruja did. October 25th, 2017, Dr. Ruja Ignatova arrives at Sofia Airport in Bulgaria. She boards Ryanair Flight 9956 to Athens, Greece. Carry-on only, no entourage, no security. And then, silence. She never arrived. No passport scan at the Athens border, no customs record, no credit card activity, no hotel check-ins. Just gone. In the days that followed, her phone pinged near the Aegean coast. Once. Then, nothing. Not a trace. She didn't vanish into the jungle or a war zone. She disappeared in Europe, in a Schengen zone where borders are tracked, phones are monitored, and cameras are everywhere. And yet, no one saw her again. Some believe she made it to a private yacht. She built $1 billion lie. She vanished without a trace. And to this day, no one knows where she is. Others say she was handed over to criminal protectors in Dubai. There are even whispers that she's The deeper the lie, the harder the truth is to find. A billionaire, a global fugitive, no confirmed sighting in over 7 years, but the world hasn't stopped looking. Since her disappearance, Ruja Ignatova has been everywhere and nowhere. There are rumors she fled to Dubai. Some say she boarded a private yacht, headed east, never to return. Others believe she was killed by the very people she trusted to protect her. Her name appears in leaked documents. Her face appears in blurry CCTV. Whispers say she's had plastic surgery. Others claim she's now a man. In 2022, the FBI added her to their top 10 most wanted list. The reward? $250,000. Yet no credible lead has ever brought them closer. Maybe she's alive. Maybe she's long dead. Or maybe she's watching. Authorities believe she may have boarded an unregistered yacht, hours after landing. No satellite trail, no radar return. And from there, vanished into open sea. Other leads place her in Russia, living under state protection, off the grid, under a new name, maybe even a new face. The world remembers her not just as a criminal, but as a ghost, a name without a body, a face that disappeared in plain sight. And until she's found, the myth of the Cryptoqueen only grows. It wasn't just money that was stolen. It was trust, dignity, and futures. When the cameras stopped flashing, when the stage lights dimmed, all that was left was silence and loss. For some, it was a few thousand. For others, everything. OneCoin reached the farthest corners of the world, not just bankers and brokers, but farmers, teachers, mothers, refugees. In Uganda, entire villages pooled money into Ruja's promise. In Pakistan, men sold property to buy in. In the Philippines, families handed over remittances, hoping this was their way out. Ruja spoke about changing lives, and she did, just not in the way anyone expected. Marriages fell apart, homes were lost. Some victims took their own lives. And even now, years later, the shame hasn't faded, because this wasn't just a financial scam, it was a betrayal of belief. For many, it was the first time anyone had told them they were worth investing in. Ruja didn't just sell them hope, she sold them belonging. OneCoin didn't just take money, it took futures. It stole generations of opportunity in seconds. Justice has been slow, refunds rare, and Ruja still gone. But those left behind still search for meaning, still demand answers, still fight, not just for money, but for truth. The pyramid collapsed, but only some were buried. After the crowds dispersed, after the money was gone, the courtroom doors finally opened. In March 2019, Konstantin Ignatov, Ruja's brother, was arrested at Los Angeles airport. He pled guilty to money laundering, wire fraud, and conspiracy. In exchange, he flipped, testifying against his own sister and their inner circle. Sebastian Greenwood, Ruja's co-founder, was extradited from Thailand. In 2022, he pled guilty in a U.S. federal court. The charge sheet: wire fraud, securities fraud, pyramid scheme leadership. The damage: over $4 billion. But here's what's worse. Of the 3.5 million victims, most haven't received a single dollar back. And Ruja, the architect, remains untouched. No trial, no conviction, no public reckoning, and even the justice system seems to be out of time. She spoke with power, she dressed with precision, she promised a revolution, and the world believed her. Dr. Ruja Ignatova built the illusion of a new financial future. But she was never building the future. She was building an escape. Her victims are still searching for justice. Her name is still on the FBI's most wanted list. And her empire, though shattered, still haunts the internet in pieces. In the age of information, the greatest lies are dressed like the truth. And sometimes, the most dangerous criminals never touch a weapon. They use a microphone and trust. This is Corporate Crime Files, and this is the story of the Cryptoqueen.